Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are under fire for delivering a painful budget that has left many British citizens reeling. But one group, in particular, is feeling the sting more than most: British farmers. They've taken to protesting against the Labour government after Rachel Reeves introduced an inheritance tax on farms valued over £1 million. What's making matters worse? Despite weeks of protests, Rachel Reeves hasn't taken the time to meet with farmers or their unions to hear their concerns. And in a recent grilling at the liaison committee, Keir Starmer accidentally let it slip that Rachel Reeves hasn't had any discussions with farmers. Yes, you heard that right. Zero engagement. Let's unpack this controversy.
You are satisfied, Prime Minister, that that 500 figure is not as robust as it may appear, and a lot of people have changed their mind on that in recent weeks. Would you persuade the Chancellor to meet with the farming unions, because she has refused to do that thus far?
Well, I met, as you probably know, with the NFU President just a few weeks ago. Met actually previously on a number of occasions with his predecessor, and there's no issue with meeting. Of course there isn't.
Well, but for the Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Well, that'll be a matter for her, but there's no in principle. I mean, I myself met the President of the NFU, and I think that...
Well, is it an example that you will be encouraging the Chancellor to follow?
Well, look, the Chancellor will manage her own diary, but I mean, I took the view...
Well, I mean, we're laughing here, but, you know, we had one witness giving evidence to the Select Committee who, when talking about the impact on his farming business, broke down.
Yep.
So there are a lot of people who don't find this funny. How does it make you feel to hear that witnesses were breaking down before my Select Committee?
Well, of course nobody's comfortable with that, but that is why I took the decision to have a meeting with the President of the NFU, to invite him in for a meeting with me, not with a great fanfare, but just for a private meeting so that I could hear for myself first-hand from him as to the points that he wanted to make understandably.
With a view to making changes?
I'm sorry?
With a view to making changes?
Well, no, we've got the policy, we've set out the policy, and I was clear about that, but did I want to hear what he had to say in a respectful way? Yes, of course I did.
For many British farmers, their farms are more than just businesses. They are family legacies passed down through generations. The newly implemented inheritance tax is seen as an attack on this heritage, with critics arguing it could force families to sell their land just to pay the tax. Farmers across the UK have taken to the streets in protest, demanding fairness and dialogue. Yet Rachel Reeves, the architect of this policy, has not reached out to farmers or union representatives to address their grievances. The silence is deafening, and it's causing anger to boil over in the farming community. During a grilling at the liaison committee, Keir Starmer inadvertently put Rachel Reeves in the spotlight. When pressed on the issue, he admitted that she hasn't met with farmers or unions since implementing this controversial tax. Imagine that, rolling out a policy that dramatically impacts an entire sector of society and not once sitting down to hear their perspective. It's no wonder farmers are losing faith in the Labour government. Let's be clear about what's at stake. Farming is the backbone of Britain's food supply chain, supporting rural communities and feeding the nation. Policies that disrupt this industry have far-reaching consequences, from higher food prices to the loss of rural jobs. The inheritance tax, in particular, hits small and medium-sized family farms the hardest. These aren't multi-million-pound corporate enterprises. They are family-run operations already grappling with rising costs, supply chain issues, and unpredictable weather. For many, this tax could be the final straw. What's baffling is that Labour could have used this as an opportunity to show leadership, engage with farmers, and find common ground. Instead, Reeves' unwillingness to meet with those directly affected has only deepened the divide. It's not just a bad look, it's a missed opportunity to show that Labour is still the party for working families and communities. The fallout from this policy is far from over. Farmers aren't backing down, and their protests are only growing louder. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves face mounting criticism for their handling of this issue, or, more accurately, their mishandling of it. The question now is, can Labour rebuild trust with farmers, or has this policy created a divide too wide to bridge? And what does this mean for Labour's broader reputation with voters across the country? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this policy a necessary step, Or has Labour miscalculated its priorities? Thanks for tuning in. And if you're as passionate about understanding what's happening in British politics as I am, make sure to check out these other videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you next time.